Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new stream. Today, we got something fantastic planned. We got a fantastic flight from Istanbul, Turkey, just on the border here with Europe and Asia. From Istanbul, Turkey, to the fantastic city of Tbilisi in Georgia. That's right, we're heading to Georgia. Out of all the places in the world, we're going to go to Georgia, and then after Georgia. Not on this stream and not on this flight. We'll be heading up to Moscow, and that'll be the beginning of a much bigger adventure. Now, forgive me if you think I'm sounding a bit tired or clogged up. I apologise. But we're having some very sunny weather, and the heat and the pollen thing is high, etc., etc. Block noses, you get it. So I'm just in the aircraft. We're not going to go in an airline today. We're going in a blank livery 737-800. I'm just on sim brief now, trying to figure out how to both share the plan with you and to make the plan. So I'm trying to work out display capture and then, you know, try and do it that way. But nothing's popping up. I can see something popping up now. Actually, let me try that. So the problem is with display captures, you can see the window for the stream software. Very different now. What I really want to include you in this part of the flight. It's important. It's the flight plan. It's unless, just give me a sec. Now, if I make it small, and then I can share the flight plan with you. So you should be able to see the flight plan now on the window. And also there's my YouTube stream thing. It's saying I'm having issues with the quality again. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. It really has to be a bad internet connection at this point. Okay, so there we go. You can see the window. So this is sim brief. So we go on to save flights. You'll notice I've got a lot of saved flights here. And we're looking for the Istanbul to Georgia, Tbilisi. I believe I've already saved it. I think so. This is not it. This is a different flight. I've done a few flights, repeat flights, practice flights in the Cessna Citation, as you can see, and a few in the Baron there, in there as well. But there's no 737 there coming up for Istanbul, Turkey. So what we're gonna have to do, a little bit embarrassing. So go on new flight. And I've got to type it into the internet because I don't know the ICAO. Blooming chess. I'm going to stop sharing the screen for a sec. Just leave you looking at the beautiful 737. And I'm going to make the flight plan myself. I had to look up all the ICOs, so apologies I've not done this, but that's part of the fun. LTFM. I'm pretty sure I did this flight plan at some point. It's strange it has an L in it when usually France would have an L in the ICAO. So I found anyway. So ICAO LTFM. And then we want Tbilisi in Georgia. It's usually pretty quick after this. UGTB, so uniform Golf. So there it is. There's Tbilisi. UGTB. I don't know if that's taking me to the airport. I'm assuming it is. So there's the runway. So that's a nice, simple route. Not too long. So the map's showing, of course, all we've got to do is travel across Turkey. We're actually going to be flying across the, I believe is it the Black Sea? Yeah, and then we'll be heading into the Georgia region. I can't remember the name of it. So it's not the Balkans. We're sort of in the edge of the Balkans now in Istanbul. And then Georgia. Yeah, fantastic. So we're going in the 737-800, which is a very popular airline with many airlines, of course. Used most notably by Ryanair and TUI. Cost index is automatic, so in terms of import, if you're wondering what to do, now I've said it's going to be quick. It's coming up as about 2 hours, which I've actually put in the description. I put an ETA of about 2 hours in there. And that's all I need to just calculate that. Departure time, it's not the 26th, it's the 28th. 28th of April. We'll go in at, this is about 1:30 now, let's say 2 o'clock. This is going to be on VATSIM. You can change the SID and star as well, just in case it's not wrong. Although usually ATC will change it for you. So I have got one in the saved folder already. I don't know why it's there, but it'll be out of date anyway. The information we need, an ATC flight plan, you can pre-file it on the network. It saves a lot of time. So pre-file network, 41,000 feet cruise altitude. Blimey. 41,000. Yeah, we're going to be really high up on this. I don't know if this flight plan has been calculated correctly. It's saying we've got 291 passengers. Supposed to have 291 passengers on board on a 737-800. There's got to be something wrong there. There's no chance we can fit 291 passengers, so I don't really know what's going on with that. Just edit the flight. Now, usually SimBrief doesn't cause any issues. That might be a different configuration of the 800. So there's a few options. I selected the Boeing 737-800. Let me click another one. Okay. It'd help if I click the right aircraft. My mistake. I must be pretty damn tired. Thank goodness I corrected myself. I was taking off the wrong data. And welcome in, by the way. Happy to see you on a Monday. Back to the usual grind. Okay, flight plan downloads. And of course, pre-file onto the online ATC service. So cruising altitude 37,000 feet. Interesting that the 787 can go up to 41,000. I don't know why people seem to think that airlines can fly above 40,000 feet. I've never really done that now or in the past. It just seems really way too high up. 37,000 feet's high enough. 39 is even higher, of course. I think the max I would go up to is 37,000. I suppose it's what you're comfortable with and what the airline wants you to do. And the weights and things. Okay, so there's the beautiful plane. There's Istanbul Airport. We'll get in the cockpit. Give me a sec. I want to make sure I've got the right. So we've gone for a strange call sign. Not the call sign I actually wanted to go for, but nonetheless call sign. So Charlie 22 Foxtrot Tango. That's actually my call sign for my Cessna Citation X. Maybe it's better changing it, although that's absolutely acceptable as well. Let's write a few things down. Cost index. So don't give these things on the downloaded flight plan. You have to put them in manually. 157 passengers and 7,837 kilos of fuel. I think that's the info we need for now. Then we can get the flight plan things loaded. We got ground power. Yes, we have. Let's go ahead and get the IRS aligned in a sec. Let's put this stuff in. So 157, that's about standard. Now, for some reason, it's gone back to pounds again. We had this issue last time with the pounds and, you know, other things as well. I have no idea how to change it on here. General configuration, you would think there'd be just an easy option for display options. There's display there, but it's not. I cannot see anything there that would say it's there. Audio, visual realism, because then it means I have to convert it to pounds. Let's just do it to pounds. Uh, 1700, 17,000, my mistake. Are they going to copy and paste? Nope, not that convenient. Something like 17. It's a little bit of a pain. I do get a little bit frustrated with it. So, I'll write it down in pounds instead. Very, very not user-friendly, this game. Nonetheless, we persevere, because the aircraft is somewhat functional. Free add-on, by the way, the Zebo mod. So 17,278. Yeah, free download, the Zebo mod, a lot better than the default version. Default version is absolutely awful. And of course, that was the fuel, wasn't it? So, ugh, typical. Cargo. Again, we have to convert it to kilos into pounds. Cargo. It's got about 8,406. 8406. 8406. Now that's activated, so the jetway is connecting. I've learned that the best way to get the jetway connected is to simply not open any doors, and it will connect automatically. So I found also it doesn't work at some airports, so fingers crossed that I'm right on what I'm saying. Let's go ahead and get the seatbelt signs on. Let's get everyone loaded up. Might have enough fuel already. We got a lot of fuel on board. We'll get the IRS aligned since we got ground power. Straight to nav. Very realistic in terms of size. The copy of the 737 isn't that big in real life. This is probably, you know, pretty accurate. There's not a lot of leg room, to be honest, and there's not a lot of space to do much other than operate the aircraft. When you're reaching up, your arm could reach up there really easily. Probably easier than reaching into kitchen cupboards. Okay, so let's get P2 and stuff on. P2 heat. Your damper. Quick slat and flap test.
Ground flight deck hose is connected and starting refueling.
Thank you very much. So everything's fuel man down there. And cargo, but it's a shame there's no cargo actually being loaded. It would make it a lot more realistic. The cargo doors do open though, so that's bonus. Cleaners, we'll go ahead and shut the door so we don't have to listen to them. Cleaners actually doing the jobs, which is good. Okay, system recall is working. Oh, enunciation recall is also working. Check. Okay, that's a pass. Let's go ahead and stick our transponder on. Still need to connect to the network. So we are Charlie to Foxtrot Tango. And a Boeing 738. There we go. Don't know if there'll be anyone online at this airport. There wasn't when we arrived last time. Probably be other airplanes, as you can see. There's a few other aircraft in the vicinity, but nobody, nobody actually on the airport other than me. And no ATC available as well, so it's a 122.800 Unicom for now. Until the controller comes back online. We are in sort of a standby. We've turned into on, so ATC can see us. Mode C, I believe it is. So that's altitude on, not mode C. Let me just show you it properly. You can just stick it to there, just get standbys, it's fine. Stick it to that one, of course. It's yeah, absolutely acceptable. Okay. Cleaning, catering loading, cargo loading. Very fast in this aircraft. It's real time, but it's just probably because we've not got much on board. We've got a lot of passengers, but it shouldn't be too long. So let's go ahead and get everything else on. We've got a speed trim fail there. Some other warnings because we haven't turned the systems on yet. Go ahead and get. We should probably have the APU on at this point to take over from the ground power units. There's the APU, should be starting when the low pressure signals illuminated. It means the APU is powering up, or it should be powering up at least. Give it a click. There we go. As you can see, a very cool feature as well in the 737. You have a door illumination light system, annunciation system, so forward entry and aft cargo is still open. We got the jetway open at the front. Surely that means, you know. Anyway, the back door is shut. Equipment door, air stairs. Very, very cool features. Let's go ahead and tune, or at least try and get the ATIS information from the airport. 1027 QNH. Very warm. And we're going up to 37,000 feet. IRS. Probably about 6 minutes. Let's do the speed checks on there. Over speed checks, of course. Star warning with cold features. The actual yoke will vibrate and shake. Okay, so fuel's on board. And cargo, presumably. Let's get the passengers, hopefully. So they're refueling. Fuel's now on board, the cargo's on board, and passengers are started on board as well. So a lot of fuel for this flight today.
Ground to flight deck, fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
Okay, so fuel's all loaded. We're all good. So gotta wait for the passengers. I wish they'd load them up earlier, but of course we have to wait for the cleaners before they can get on board. I have had them cleaning while they're on board, while they're boarding in the past, but that's not the correct thing to do.
Istanbul traffic, Lufthansa 76 X-ray established INS Zulu 35 right, 14 miles out.
Okay, so there's the retractable and fixed landing lights. Fixed is 1 click, retractable is 2. That's very cool, and if we look outside the front, we can possibly see the lights down here, and of course on the wing as well. People on traffic giving us a call out. We'll have to see what runway we're departing from. Such a cool plane though, such a cool aircraft. So the IRS is aligned. Let's go ahead and get initiated into the position. So initialization, GPS left, 1, 2, 3, and it should load in. It's not really loaded in, unfortunately. Might be an issue there. Reference Lima Tango Foxtrot Mike. B12 is our gate. Thankfully they got a number in front of us this time, because most gates don't, but we can see it. Yeah, very strange that the GPS wouldn't then directly go onto the route page. Origin, of course, route, navigation data, flight plan, so LTFM. There it is. UGTB. I think that's the correct one. And then flight number 22. There's no brakes in that. It's decent. Let's activate that. And we're going to check. I'm just going to check everything's gone in. Usually it doesn't. It seems to have given us a straight out departure, which is nice. Or as straight out as it can be. On runway, let's runway 35 right. Very, very cool indeed. We come in at the end at saying basic. Should be to the runway for the landing. I'll give it a check in a sec. Excuse me. Whew. Very tired. So SimBrief has given us departure of Osmed 4 Delta. Yeah, so that's in there, and then a landing of saying Lager 1 Alpha is correct as well, but it didn't. Anyway, that's it. That's sorted. So we're ready to get going, pretty much. Well, when the passengers are boarded, of course, we can't go without them being on board. We're going to squawk a random squawk code because we're doing a VFR flight. Already got 1. Let's change it. 02 02 5
Istanbul
4.
traffic, Lufthansa 76 X-ray on final ILS 35 right, 3 miles out.
Fantastic. So we've got people departing 35 left and arriving 35 right by the look of it. We have got 35 right as the takeoff runway. I wish SimBrief would give you more accurate data. It doesn't give you the active runway sometimes. Although to be fair, if I depart from 35 right, no one's going to be too bothered, I don't think. I don't think it's that kind of sector today, thankfully. We're going to arm our speed brakes once we've done our calculations. Of course, 37,000 feet. Cruise level. Initial heading is 35 for the runway, and same with the course. So the ground weight and things will change, zero fuel weight will change, should be the same. Technically we can go up to 37,900. We're sort of on the tip there of what we can do maximally. Of course, cost index today is 43 as well. Very important piece of information for the airline and for the aircraft operation. Reserves, we don't really have any reserves in. According to the flight, well we do, we always have reserves, but according to the flight plan, we need 7.8 tons of fuel. We're burning 4.6, so yeah, maybe about 2 tons of extra in there, just about 2.5 tons I'd say, extra. According to the flight plan, that is. Outside air temperature is 13.
Istanbul traffic, Lufthansa 76 X-ray vacated runway 35 right. Happy landings.
It's come up with -10 there. I think that's for cruise. Let's just try and delete that. Planned fuel, 7.8 kilos. So we have got to be careful. Actually, I've been putting this in kilograms, but it's supposed to be in pounds. I can't calculate the difference, unfortunately. So we need 17.2, so 17.3. So we've got a bit extra there, about 0.6. Keep updating. Okay, passengers are loaded. Fantastic. And the jetway is disconnecting, so that's literally us ready to taxi. Let's go ahead and put our actual last final weights in and do our... Make sure that's all done. N1 speeds. So we had an issue last time with this system up here and not, you know... Right, that would help. APU on. And they said it was over. It said there was an issue up here with, I think it said bleed trip off. Now apparently if you set the the thrust too high, it can cause that. So we're gonna go and take off one and climb one today because it's warm weather. Take off standard 5 degrees of flap, center of gravity 4.75. So VR is 140. Not bad at all, I have to say, for performance. And then there's, you can put those in before you calculate it, but it's it's fine to leave it off. I'd say you can still calculate it without the information. Fantastic. I mean, I'm quite excited. We're going. The door's shut. The doors are left forward. Over wing door is open for some reason. I don't know who keeps opening the emergency doors, but ladies and gentlemen, please refrain from doing so. Okay, let's go ahead and get hydraulics activated, and we'll plan our pushback. 35 right. It'd be handy if you could taxi. They said there's an aircraft coming our way. It'd be handy if you could zoom out on this. I'm not sure how to do it. Well, let's go and put ourselves there, and then.
All right, Captain. Got the directions.
Hopefully
Let me know through the menu when you're ready.
He's gonna go. We're actually really close to the runway here. We just got a little bit of a distance. I mean, even if we take off on 35 left, we still got the same departure out of the airport. I suspect he's going a bit further down. Okay.
Great news, Captain. Your tow's coming.
I don't know why we're going American. We're in Istanbul. PA system, perhaps. I don't know what what airline is which on that PA system. So yeah, try and figure that one out. Yeah, here he comes. Stick our beacons on. Everything else is looking pretty good though. Your damper, come on. Interphone is off. Okay. Keep an eye on that yaw damper.
Looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
Awesome. Yeah, so he's parked down there. He could have parked next to us, but he's gone a bit further down. DLX. And we just had an airline there landing as well. So, and another one on final. So it's a very popular airport. People are landing on the same runway, and must be. It's got to be taken. I've got to be taking off on this one. That's the one I've got planned. You know, and I think these are more aircraft coming in for final as well. So very, very busy international airport. Let's just take off on 3-5 left so we don't upset anybody.
Welcome aboard, Captain. Toes connected, bypass pins inserted. Go and kill the parking brake when you're ready to go.
We're ready to go. RTO and brakes.
Here comes the pushback. Light them up.
Line them up. That means engine on. Of course. Fuel pumps on. Small amount of fuel in the centre. And something else just spawned in as well. Very cool. I'm going to be pushing back onto Tango 2. That's probably just short for Terminal 2. And then we'll taxi along to 3-5 left rather than 3-5 right. Since most people are taking off on... landing on 3-5 right, we don't want to cause any traffic issues. That sim's completely dead at this airport. As you've noticed, there's no ATC available. If you're new here, welcome in. I don't think anybody will be watching me this week. The weather's too nice. Still got a flight to do though. Certainly fit in for April, the end of April, just going into May of course. I think that's that airline over there, is it? The I can't see it without going outside the cockpit. Perhaps a Ryanair or something. N2's spooling up absolutely fine. We're just about on time. Standard half an hour start up there for the engines and other things.
Just about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake.
Parking brake sets.
And we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
Okay, packs can come on. Maybe you bleed air off. Maybe you off. Engines have been started successfully. Fantastic. And 6 lights. Give it a moment for him to clear the area.
And we're disconnected. Signal and pin on the right. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
Fantastic. So taxi lights. Taxi lights on. I think taxi lights trigger that announcement to make sure they secure cabin and things. Just make sure there's no one else. There's an aircraft in front there. Hope he doesn't taxi towards us. So we're gonna go ahead and turn left down this one. Nice solid start there to the engines. Of course, flaps 5. Busy airport, so we keep a lookout left and right. Aircraft over there doing something very strange indeed. We're going left though here. We're going to take it all the way down to the runway. Very different to the Cessna Citation. I have to get used to 737 again. Just the controls feel a lot heavier than, of course, the lighter jets. Even though the Citation X is a mid-sized jet, it's relatively light on the controls. 737 feels like a snail in comparison, especially on the ground. I'll take the next right on to Delta, I believe. Let's just check the map. So down Delta. We've gone past the runway. I knew I was supposed to take that turn. Down. Oh well, we do a U-turn. I knew I was supposed to take it. Blimey. So we'll go and taxi all the way down. We'll get there. We'll do our normal standard takeoff checks. People are going to think, especially because I'm on VAS, even though I'm flying them professionally, simply just made a U-turn mistake there. Never do this in real life, of course. We'll only get caught out and get sacked. It's I think that's an Emirates 777. Yeah, fantastic looking plane. I'll have to buy it at some point in the future when we can try it out on the X-Plane 12. Runway straight ahead. Fantastic. Parking brake set. Landing lights on. Ignition continuous. Taxi lights off. Istanbul traffic. Charlie 22 Foxtrot Tango taking off 35 right. There's a quick departure for the aircraft. Very quick indeed. TCAS on, of course. Weather radar on as well. Remote was gone off. So we get on the runway and take off. Well, I did just give my call out. We're taking off. He should at this point now consider either slowing down or going round, because we're, you know, on the active runway, so he should be slowing down. Yeah, taxiing, usually take off aircraft at the right way when they're on the ground on the runway, but if an aircraft on final is there before the taxiing aircraft, they've got right of way sort of thing. So yeah, just always be aware of that. I think that's like a common courtesy thing on that sim and also real life as well. Okay, 40%, 40%. Got to LNAV and VNAV it. And takeoff, go around thrust. Strong crosswind.
80 knots.
80 knots. 120. V1.
Rotate.
Rotate. Oh, strong crosswind. Positive rate climb. Throwing that aircraft nose all over the place. So nice steep 15-degree turnout bank
400.
on the departure leg. Just about 12 degrees there, so 230 knots. Flaps to 1, gear to neutral and then brake, RTO off. Landing lights stay on for the time being. Flaps up. Okay, there's climb 1. 230 knots, so it's ideal. And like I say, it's a straight out departure. And we got a little bit of a left bank to intercept our heading on the right, of course. Saying 1700 feet. That's pretty low down, to be fair, for a departure height. And then after 1700, 10,000, yeah, we're just clear to climb now, basically up to our flight level 370. 250 knots, just about. Ignition continuous can be turned off. No autopilot needed until we're above 10,000 feet. Heck, you don't need to turn it on at all if you're a good pilot. You just leave your aircraft well trimmed. Still climbing at 240 though, 250 now, which is a bit strange. It keeps changing its mind. Not as warm as I thought it'd be in Istanbul, Turkey. It's only 10 degrees outside. We are at 7,000 feet though. Even on the ground it was only 13 degrees, so not that hot to be honest for this time of the year. And lights off.
Istanbul Turkey, Tanzania 6, Bravo, establish ILS runway 05 right.
A lot of aircraft there now. It'd be good if there's ATC. Of course, that red line is our departure as we depart the east. Okay, I'm going to activate the autopilot. We're already on a route, so as you can see, there's not really much input required from the autopilot because we're flying it pretty much perfectly, which is fantastic. Of course, Unicom's busy.
Bravo, landing on the bay, 35 right, 8 miles outside.
Let's turn that down. Yeah, brilliant. If you want to handle a departure, there's no reason why you can't do it. Highly recommend it. I mean, that's what flying is. You don't have to rely on the autopilot all the time. You know, if you got a piston aircraft or an aircraft without autopilot, it's all hand flown. basically just an airliners that use the autopilot mostly. There are a lot of civil aviation jets that use it, but and aircraft, but in general, airlines are the ones that sit back and relax during the flights. Climb for 11,000 feet. We're not climbing that fast, to be honest. Supposed to be climbing at 307 knots. Flaps have been retracted. I think we're good to sit back and relax. Everything is sorted. The whole aircraft is actually functional today as well. Had some issues with the engine starting up on the last flight I did. So standard pressure. And there's the entirety of the route. And the FMC slash, you know, the display unit there in front. You want to call it a map. It has a map, a plan option, VOR, and of course approach. All very, very handy indeed. So according to the flight plan on SimBrief, we have 785 nautical miles to go. It's a lot further than I expected. When you look at the map of these destinations, you know, the departure and the arrival, when I looked at the sector, I thought, well, we're flying over the Black Sea, I think it is, and just over the edge of Turkey. It shouldn't take that long, but 2 hours is a long, long time to get over that small amount of water. And just to the north of us is Sevastopol. Very famous place. And then just of course to the south is Ankara in Turkey, and to the east is Georgia, Tbilisi, and Sochi, Krasnodar, Stavropol, Nalchik, all the Russian places, all the Russian cities and towns. So we're in a real we're in a real sort of international situation. We're bordering Europe and Asia. Of course to the north is a bigger country which takes half the world, so fantastic. I'm going to sit back and relax and let guys enjoy the flights. For the time being I'm going to, so we stopped at 14,000 because the FMC's told us to. When we get to the next one we should be going up to 22,000 feet. I'm just going to wait and see if that's going to change for us or not. So it should start climbing in a sec. There we go. So the FMC is doing its job. I'm going to step away from the cockpit and get myself a drink. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. We've just about reached a safe cruising altitude, ladies and gentlemen. Please feel free to step about your seats and walk the cabin. No seatbelt sign there. Turn it off. It was on automatic, so maybe it's off already. Wish the passengers would be automatic, and the seats seem to be in a Ryanair scheme. Let's see if we can change that. So settings. No, PA system, PA settings. And there may all be a Ryanair option. I have no idea unless that's just the default chair and I'm mistaken it. TV screens aren't on either, which is surprising. Just about see. Just about see the land. I think that is Turkey in the background. Just about. Very difficult. Time to take the anti-ice on. We're now -9 degrees outside. So let's go ahead and do that. Wing anti-ice and engine anti-ice. Make sure we don't freeze up. Just crossing 230 of 37,000 feet. So here we are, flying over the sea. Holy smokes, did you see that? The aircraft, almost like it hit something in mid-air, it just violently shook. For absolutely no reason. That could be an air pocket, or something, an air turbulence pocket. Completely unexpected, that's why it's so important if there is known turbulence to sit down in your seats. Unbelievable though. That would have been enough to hurt somebody, no doubt. They'll have to get checked on London. We didn't check our oxygen levels. Never had any issues on the 737 so far. Most flights go without issue. As you can see, this one is.
5,000 to go.
That's a mayday. That's an urgent call right there almost. Sweet Jesus, what the hell just happened? That thing happened again. We were flying absolutely fine, and all of a sudden we entered an uncontrollable spin and dive for a moment. I thought we were about to crash. We got 30,000 feet to go though. That was frightening. I think people are going to be very, very injured after that. We're going to have to make... I don't know what kind of call we're going to have to make after that, but that was very, very bad. Yeah, flying along, hit by what I assume is turbulence. The aircraft is suddenly spun and descended at a rapid rate. For absolutely no reason whatsoever. When I connected my controller again, just about regained control of the aircraft. That's bad. That's very bad. That would warrant me giving the ATC a call, but there's no ATC available, so we're kind of screwed. We were borderline uncontrollably spinning then. Unbelievable. Very, very frightening. Everyone's going to have to stay in the seats. Because if that happens again, that's the second time, and that's the sort of thing that can crash the aircraft. It just nearly did. Very, very frightening. Please let me know if there's any issues with stream quality. I've been sort of sat here monitoring the flight. Didn't expect that to happen at all. I have no idea what's caused it other than, you know, random severe turbulence. Gonna check for ATC again. We really need ATC airline so we can get a lower altitude. I might clear myself down if it's going to be that bad. Although we're at 35,000, we lost just in that my uncontrollable spin dive. We just lost 2,000 feet, which is bad. You know, we don't want to be losing that much height, especially close to the ground. We're already close to, we're fairly close to the terrain. I know we got miles away, but we're still looking at the mountains over there. We're in quite a tricky place, to be honest, for that sort of weather and conditions. Unbelievable. So we'll always be on the ball. Probably best to always monitor the flight just in case. So we're going to climb back up to 37,000 feet. Hopefully. No ATC available to give them a call, so we'll have to make do with the current state of the aircraft. Yeah, frightening, very frightening. There's a few aircraft, as you can see on the flight plan there. We're heading straight down the airway, and around here we've hit a pocket of something which has thrown us off completely.
Thousand to go.
This is a quiet, a quiet flight, ladies and gentlemen. Not much to say on it, just sitting back and relaxing. I don't know what went on with the controls earlier. Maybe there was a, like, now it's disconnected. Maybe I accidentally pressed the ailerons. Well, that's unlikely to happen because there was nowhere near the control stick. Anyway, I'll just double check some of the instruments for you. I mean, everything's looking pretty good. Can choose to put the packs on high, which will put it on anti-ice. Oh, anti-ice option as well. I'm going to turn the fasten seat belts back off. Now, I was looking at the FMC and I've set the course for the runway heading, so 310. Landing on runway 310. And so when we get down, hopefully the course is correct and we can land with no issues using the ILS guidance system, I hope. I haven't double checked if there's one, I can't really see it on the map. I think we got about, we've crossed the hour mark, so we've maybe got about 45, 50 minutes left until we get there, until we have to descend anyway. Judging by the top of the map, the top of descent, you know, it's just there, you can just about see it. Can't quite see what it's after, but there's a few waypoints to go yet. If you go into VATSIM radar, there's a thing called VATSIM radar, VATSIM-radar.com. You'll be able to see who's online. You better see which ATC is online. Unfortunately, there's no ATC in either of our places today, Istanbul or Tbilisi, Georgia. There's certainly a lot of other aircraft online who are, you know, doing international flights especially, and we're still very much over the Black Sea at the moment, to the south of the Black Sea. We don't want to be on the north of the Black Sea. I guess we're passing somewhere called Sinop in Turkey. I've never been there. And then just in front, of course, directly in front, just past Turkey is Georgia. Can't see it, but it's there in the distance. Hello, Finders. How are you doing? Good to see you in. Hope you're having a good day. I'm having a good day. We had a few issues with the plane almost crashing before. I don't know if you saw it. Of course, welcome to anyone else as well. It's this standard usual stream. You've heard me say it a million times before. Standard stream for a Monday. Typical European / border of Asia flight today. It's all a bit special. $20 here as well, Finders. Very, very hot, very, very warm, and sunny as well. So, loving it. Absolutely loving it. No rain here for 2 months. Wow. It's quite like that in England at the moment. It's not rained here for ages. Plenty of pollen though, and dust and pollution, but no rain. about half an hour to 40 minutes till we reach the airport. We started descent much sooner than then. Maybe the next 10 minutes. Start descending towards Tbilisi Airport in Georgia. Now the approach on this one, just reading through the approach on the flight plan. Lagos 1 Alpha approach to Uniform Golf Tango Bravo 31 left. Airport conditions looking pretty stable, I'd say. Nothing popping up on the weather information. No thunderstorms or the like. It's given us local QNH of 1022. Takeoff QNH was quite high. If you missed it, it was 1027. So very hot, very high pressure there. Dry heat, I'd say. So 1022. I'll set up nice and early. 1022. And we'll do a few more checks. So 2 on the auto brake. ILS frequency 108.9. Just checking the chart thing, the flight plan. There we go. 108.9 on the ILS frequency. I think we're all programmed incorrectly on that. And then we want. Now it's given us it's given us a reference landing weight 141 to 146. Let's see what it's actually going to be in the aircraft data. It's about 140 there with 40 degrees of flaps, so it's pretty accurate. +5, so about 145 knots for 40 degrees of flaps. We're going to need full flats on this runway. It's not as long as some other international runways, and they recently had an ILS system installed, like later than most airports would have as well. Yeah, Kavik weather. Basically it's just made you can see. Good conditions. Destination alternatives, so alternate airport, Uniform Golf Kilo Oscar, Kopit Nari. I don't know where that is, or I'm assuming it's in Georgia still. I don't know where or how far. The map's not very accurate. I'll just look at the map afterwards if I can't find it, but we probably won't need it. Yeah, Lagos 1 Alpha arrival, so hopefully no issues on that. Presence of mobile cranes at transition surface. And go round height is actually very high in this, especially if, you know, go round and pattern like a hold height is 6,000 feet. In case if we go around problems. So Agiso is the descent point. Rapid descent there from 30,000 feet down to 11, so we got dropped 20,000 feet in the space of 33 nautical miles, which is considerable. At this point the agency would probably give us, it would probably tell us to descend. I think I'm going to do that now, to be honest, so seatbelts can come on. Always better to be early than late. I'm going to go down to 30,000 feet. in preparation for that descent.
Thousand to go.
How's the quality of the live stream? Is everything working correctly? Is the video good? Is there any lag? Pixelation? Cheers, Finders. Thank you. I keep getting a message pop up on the YouTube stream app telling me that the bitrate is dropping, and it's just been doing it continuously throughout the stream. But if everything's working, that's the main thing. As long as people can see it. Oh, nice. Are you outside? Are you, where are you? You watching me from? You watching me from home or somewhere else? I don't have an iPad myself. I don't have a, I don't even have a smartphone. Oh, in kitchen, very nice. Hope you're having a nice Monday. Do you work from home then, or are you just having a day off? Yeah. That seems to be the mainstream thing nowadays. Yeah, to be honest, I like it as well. It's the best thing I think one person could do for themselves, and also second to that, working for themselves in general. You know, get your own company, get your own business, and you're sorted. So yeah, fantastic. Okay, we got traffic at 12 o'clock. Literally heading straight along the same airway as us. And he's coming up on the radar as well. Potential collision issue there. Now, I've never crashed into another aircraft on this game, so I'm not sure if it'll actually crash or not. I can see them there, they look like they're considerably higher. Thank goodness we descended nice and early. We'd probably be head on with them now if we hadn't descended in time. Just a little bit concerning though. Two aircraft, it looks like they're in possibly flying the formation flight somewhere together. So our next waypoint is Odeley, Rollin, Odeley, and then Tetro. And after Tetro we could go down to well, this is saying 37,000, then down to 30. We're already at 30, and then to 11,000. So we'll go down to 11,000 when we get to Tetro. There he is, just zooming above us. Might as well start descending out, give us something to do in the meantime. So let's click flight level change. We'll go down to 11,000 feet. So there it is, there's the land of Georgia. The land has actually appeared at last, looking very pretty. There's a big mountain in the background. God blimey, that's think about it, we're at 26,000 feet now. That mountain's got to be at least 30,000 feet or so, possibly less. Looks absolutely gigantic. Anyway, we're coming into Georgia in about 10 to 15 minutes, hopefully, till we get to the approach. Still going pretty fast, we're going about 300, and we're going super fast now because we're lower down. About 330. Slow down to 320. Speed brake armed. No, speed brake has deployed. Speed brake armed. Don't want to make that mistake when landing. So there's those extendable lights on the bottom. I'll leave them on for now. So that I wanted to just see where they were, I wasn't sure, and then of course fixed landing lights will be on the wings. That's very cool to know those. You don't even need those retractable ones until you've got the gear down. Let's just check what one notch does. I see, so put it down once, click once and it deploys them, click twice and it illuminates them as well. So usually I'm used to this one, but it'll be, you know, you'll just click it like that and it'll all come on. And then there are modern, of course the 737 MAX has 2 switches, not 4. So a lot of improvements on the new generation aircraft. Tbilisi, I've never been close to that city. No, I haven't either. I've only seen it on travel vlogs. I've seen it on YouTube. Some really good travel vloggers out there actually film Tbilisi and Georgia. Very well known place though. And of course scenery just about spawning in. Just gonna sort of level off here for the time being and then we'll continue our descent, we'll get a bit closer. Yeah, so go round height is 6,000. Might probably be a hold height in case we need to wait for other aircraft. There's no ATC available at the moment. 4,500 is the altitude for the approach, so CF and FF is the approach into the airport. we've done our enunciate. We've done the checks that we need to do. We can do them again. We can do an enunciation recall. You know, we can just do a few of things. Runway turnout lights could come on, for example. But not yet. We're not even near the airport. We've still got a bit to go. It's a very, very long flight. So I appreciate everyone for being here. Got to be cautious. There's a lot of mountains. We don't want to descend through the clouds and crash into one of them. So another place in Georgia which is pretty cool and well known, I like the look of it myself, is Batumi. Because there's Batumi Airport. And Tbilisi Area Control, which we've now entered. So we can just about see the AC boundary there. And of course further north will take you up to Russia. Severe weather at this airport here. Can't pronounce it, but it's looking like there's a lot of thermals. Stormy weather by the look of it. 17 degrees, about 7 knots there for crosswind. So it tends to do this, it tends to magically stick more fuel into the centre. I have talked about it before. When you cross over a border, it will suddenly switch to the centre fuel and it will put more than you originally had. So we didn't have, you know, that much fuel on board, or maybe we did and it's just appearing now. So there's definitely a glitch in the display so far. You know, not very good, but of course you can always change it if you want to. Well, we managed to peak in terms of viewership on the last stream we did to Istanbul, so exciting, getting more viewers, especially on the live stream. It makes it worth it. Okay, that is top of descent. We're just over Tetra now. There's Tbilisi Airport. Uniform Golf Tango Bravo. We want 31 left, so this is the main runway. We know what our ILS frequency is, 108.9. You can double check it on the map. I absolutely love their part of flight when you're getting prepared for land. The only part that's a little bit tedious is the cruise. You know, it lasts an awful long time. That's why I like to do the Cessna Citation now a bit more, because it's a little bit shorter on the, a little bit faster and a little bit shorter on the cruise. Well, thank you, Finders. I quite enjoy these streams myself as well, and I hope everybody else who joins will enjoy it in the future. "12 minutes to landing. We're going to go ahead and descend down. I'm going to go right down to about 7,000 and then 4,500, yeah. So we'll just go straight down to 4,500 feet. Let's go ahead and change pressure. 1022. You can always tell when you need to reset the pressure or change it. It will illuminate yellow. So it's a very cool feature. There's not much on the 737 to do in terms of messing around. You know, there's not much improvisation needed. Computers and the systems will give you all the information you need. And of course, you've got access to an iPad here or something to get all the maps. So yeah, pilot's job is really quite cushy, to be honest. It's only the takeoff and land, you know, the ground operations and the takeoff and landing that they really need to be involved in. The main flight and the majority of the flight, and even the landings, all autopilot, as we've seen many times before on this channel. VNAV can come back on. It's given us 288. It's probably going to level off at 11,000. I'll just leave the VNAV on for now. Vertical navigation, it will follow the FMC programming. I'm going to check our ground proximity flaps. System. I shouldn't have done that test in mid-flight. Should really do that on the ground. Anyway, that's done. We got some foot air there we can change. Rudder pedal adjustment as well. Okay, so it's a good thing we are cautious of the height. There's probably a warning for 2500 because we're near a mountain. There's no terrain warnings coming up on computer. So we're right over a mountain now, being followed by another aircraft. Never landed at this airport. I've never even flown to Georgia, so this is a brand new experience. It looks like they got a few different runways for the same place, for the same airport. Probably the same ATC, you'd think. When we get there, we may be able to taxi off Alpha, or we could just carry on to Bravo and we'll taxi down to one of the terminals there, maybe C2 if it's empty. Nobody's bothered about this turbulence. They're all having a good time. The anti-ice can come off. Got an overheat warning on the hydraulics again. Turn the packs onto automatic rather than high, and hopefully the overheat warning will go off. I think there may be a delay on the stream. Not intentional, of course. I'm just checking the stream now. Slightly behind what I'm actually doing in the cockpit. Anyway, from the from the future, we're about to reach the top of descent again and deceleration points respectively. I want to decelerate nice and early, so we're going to go ahead and stick one notch of flaps. Now we've done the landing checklist. Auto brakes are on 2. One notch of flaps will allow us to slow down in time for that descent. Landing lights are all on in preparation for the landing gear coming down. Probably stick our ignition continuous once we get to basic. For that final turn there on the base leg runway 31 left. $20, wow. I don't know why that's happening. Good thing you've told me though, that gives me a reference. At least when I sometimes I end the stream and it'll cut the end off because you're not quite up to speed with my stream if you catch my drift. So I'll be sure when we do the taxi down and shut down at the terminal to leave the stream on a little bit longer to allow it to catch up and things. It's quite a lot though, 20 seconds. A lot of servers. Indeed. Probably quite busy as well, considering how many people are on VATSIM at the moment. Severe turbulence from the future. I think this is the top of descent, so yeah, we're starting to descend now, hopefully down to correct altitude, thankfully. Already pretty slow though, 193. I'm going to stick 5 degrees of flaps. It's really bad conditions, but it did say it was visible, like VFR, you know, CAVOC conditions. Surprising, although to be fair, most flights we've done in the past has had some sort of surprise element. I mean, this one's had more than we've bargained for, to be honest. Looking forward to the landing though. 173 knots at the moment. Just passing through 10,000 for 4,500 feet. It's given me 4.5 nautical miles from basic to final, and then 3.5 miles from, you know, FF to, we're saying 7.5 there, so about 7.5, so it's a good distance to get set up for landing, and hopefully decrease our speed. 4,000 feet may be a bit high, but that's usually the altitude for the ILS intercept, or the localizer interception at least. Ten degrees of flaps, so we know our VREF, it's 145 plus 5. It's come out to 143 now, so it's changed. It's probably due to the weight. So about 148, 150 on landing. Ignition continuous. Transponders on. We've checked for traffic on the map. There's nothing inbound at the moment. And there's final. Tbilisi traffic, good afternoon, this is Charlie 22 Foxtrot Tango, descending through 7003, basic for 31 left. Okay, deceleration points coming up. I'm at 10 degrees of flaps. I think I'll keep it there until we get to basic. And then when we get to basic, I'll drop it down to 25, and I'll probably, I won't lower the landing gear to run final. It'll just help us to decelerate a little bit more effectively. Okay, 15 degrees of flaps. Bring that speed down. Very close to landing speed at the moment. There's just severe turbulence as we turn onto base. Still got the overheat warning on the hydraulics. Don't know what that could be. Fuel pumps on. Fuel temperature quite cold, almost freezing. Anti-ice has been off for a while, we've not needed it. It's fairly warm outside, it's about 10 degrees, 11 degrees.
1,000 to go.
Okay, there's 4,000 feet just about, so that'll be our final height. Hopefully we can intercept the ILS. Okay, there's some land. We're almost there. Welcome to Tbilisi, everyone. Please secure your seatbelts and secure any loose items in the cabin. Okay, we put 25 degrees of flaps. It may give us a warning to put the gear down, but I'm going to ignore it. When we put the gear down, I put 40 degrees of flaps as well. Okay, no sight of the airport. I think it's just off there, just in the distance. So there's the runway. Pray that the autopilot works. As usual, we have interception issues and localizer issues, so wouldn't be surprised if this was going to be a hand-flown approach again. Tbilisi traffic, Charlie 22 Foxtrot Tango, turning final, ILS 31 left. Okay, we're turning final. Ignition's been on continuous for a bit longer than I wanted it to be on for. You wouldn't really have it on all this time unless you were on final or close to the runway. It'd end up burning out the engines otherwise. Probably causing an engine failure if there's bad weather as well, so stick it back onto continuous. Lighting lights are on. There's the runway, so we can stick our... It's a very small airport. I think that's the runway. It might not be, it might be the one prior to Tbilisi Airport, my mistake. So our runway's further ahead, our runway's down there. I thought we were a little bit close. 3.2 miles till final, and then 7.5 to the runway, so we've got plenty of time to slow down a bit more as well. Trim wheels doing its job. So at this point we could probably select VOR lock. I can deselect VNAV, and there's the ILS glide slope being intercepted. Just about. We turned the approach, so hopefully it's now going to lock on to the approach, which it has done. And we can set the speed manually. I'll leave it 153 for now. Okay, we're on final everybody, 7.5 nautical miles. Locked onto the ILS nice and early, it's actually working, so a miracle. That's a gear warning. We're well within the runway sight. I think if we can see it at this distance, we could probably deploy the gear. 7.7 miles is a bit far, but it's better to be early than late. Made the call for final. There's no other aircraft traffic. We've got flaps set. Ground proximity flaps down there. Passenger signs on. Ignition continuous. Landing lights. Landing gear down. Speed brake armed. Auto brake set to 2. ILS frequency. Approach switch selected. Go round height. So we set our go round height 6,000 feet. So that's the pre-landing checklist complete. We can just gradually lower more and more flaps now. There's only 2 more notches, and then we've pretty much done it. We have full 40-degree flap landing. Make sure we can hear the radio. So the full 40 degrees. A 1,000 feet.
Stabilized, Mr. Birch, altitude 7.
Check. Co-pilot there giving us a kind readout. Autothrottle comes off. Should really turn the autopilot off at this point. I don't fancy flying it manually at the moment. It's quite windy as well, so I'm going to trust the autopilot to try and get us as low as possible. There we go.
500. 400. 300.
'Don't worry about the puppy, everybody. That's normal. It's normal to have a
100.
an issue at the end there.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Reverse thrust. Frame rate drop on landing, completely expected. And landing lights, runway lights just turned on as well, so that's very cool. Considerable amount of lag at this airport. Awesome. Reversers are stowed. We've stopped for some reason. Yeah, so a lot of lag, and for some reason we stopped on the runway. I must have set the auto brake too high, which is not good. Just turn that off. Make sure we're not popped any tyres. And then lights can come off, turnout lights can stay on for the meantime. That was a decent landing. Congratulate myself on that. It just was a little bit off on the ILS glide slope there at the end. We kind of dealt with another strong crosswind, and then there was a lag as well to make matters worse. Okay, there's one turnout. This is the Alpha turnout, I believe, the one we had planned. And we're going to taxi down to Terminal 2, I think it is. Okay, APU can come on. Very nice airport. It has modelled scenery. I don't think this is custom, but it looks pretty good. That's general aviation parking. We don't want that. We want to be over there with the jets. Transponder can come off to standby. Charlie 22 Foxtrot Tango, Tbilisi traffic cleared, 31 left. Strobes can come off as well. Switch that to APU generator. Definitely an issue with the aircraft for hydraulics being overheating most of the time, and I have no idea what causes it. Zebra mod, so if you are a user, if you are a developer, perhaps you can fill me in as to what is happening. Also, Tbilisi Airport, not particularly scenery heavy, but causing the game to struggle a little bit. Don't think there's a space down there, unfortunately. Can't can't see us fitting in that space. We're going to have to just park here. We go down here and park maximum 36 meters. We're well within that. Not quite in the space, but we're parked in space 8. We're sort of off the line. Probably should have come down this one and then parked there instead. He's done it well. He's done his parking perfectly fine. We're probably alright here. There's no one going to crash into us. Hopefully. So yeah, that was it. Not going to do a shutdown on this one. We'll disconnect from VATSIM though. Because we're not got I just realised, well, we will do a shutdown. We just haven't got a jetway or anything to bring the passengers to the terminal. Let's go ahead and do that. APU generators come on. Beacons can come off. All that. They'll probably send a truck out to us to deboard the passengers. Isolation, APU bleed, packs off. So yeah, that's it for the the semi shutdown. Let's check out about our rating. Is it a standard? We might be able to watch it. Okay, landing great, 4-star. And approach bad. Well, we know that's always going to be bad. I think that's broken. It wasn't that bad really. Passengers. So here they come now, the passenger bus and the cargo and things. So yeah, we didn't get a terminal jetway space. A lot of them being occupied by other aircraft. There's space possibly down there, but we've forgotten that for now. We're just parked here. Anyway, they can still get off. Thank you very much for watching. A very long flight. Have a fantastic evening, night and evening wherever you are, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.